4C homework. All right, here we go. Let's go down to the bottom. Let's work on this one. What's being done to M? And what's the opposite of subtracting 2/3? I'm going to add 2/3, add 2/3, do my canceling. What's the rule for adding and subtracting fractions? You're not sure? You take your tab, boom, flip to it. What is the rule for adding and subtracting fractions? Got a nice big star next to it. You need a common denominator. Do we have a common denominator? Okay, so we don't need to worry about that. What are the signs? Same signs or different signs? Different signs. What do we do when it's different signs? We subtract. So sometimes the numbers are small here. I don't need to go off to the side and reverse the order. I can just do it in my head. What's 2/3 subtracting 1/3? 1/3. 2/3 would have to be on top, but I'm not going to subtract. I'm not going to switch it like we did in our notes. This is just a small problem. Different signs mean subtract. So 2/3 minus 1/3 is 1/3. Is it a positive 1/3 or a negative 1/3? Positive, because 2/3 is bigger. Take the sign from the larger number. 4 2/3 equals negative 1 2/9 plus n. What's being done to n? It's being added by what? Exactly what is it being added by? A mixed number. It's a negative mixed number. It's being added by a negative 1 2/9. Remember, always look in front. So how do I undo a negative 1 2/9? I'm going to add 1 2/9. I'm going to line up my whole numbers over here. 1 and my fraction column. What's the rule for adding and subtracting fractions? Do we have a common denominator? Do we? 3 and 9. So what is the common denominator for 3 and 9? A number they both can go into. 9. Do I have to change this one? No, so I'm just going to go next to this one. I'm going to put my fraction there and put down that I'm changing it to a 9th. I don't have to change the bottom one because it already has a 9. So how do I change 3 to go up to 9? Because I need to do the same thing for the numerator. Very good. 3 times 3 was 9. So 2 times 3 is 6. And I forgot to put my sign. I added 1 2/3, 1 2/9. I need to add 1 2/9. 6/9 plus 2/9. What is that? 8/9. And then 4 plus 1 is 5. We have a whole number there. My variable stays on the right. I like to give you ones that are like this one. 6x equals 3.6. What's being done to x and how do I undo it? I need to divide by 6 using the fraction bar. I don't want to see the elementary symbol in here ever again. You need to use that fraction bar. It's algebra. Okay, so what I see, I'm just going to forget the decimal. I see 36 divided by 6. What is 36 divided by 6? Okay, now I just need to adjust my answer. 6 times what gives me 3.6? How do I adjust my answer? 6 times 6 is 36, but I need 6 times something that's going to be 3.6. What do I do to? Very good. If I put one decimal place, that means 6 times 6 is 36 with one decimal place. I will be giving you a lot of those types. Okay, easy ones to do, but you're still working on what it means to divide and multiply with decimals. Same thing with this one. Q is being divided by 0.5. What's the opposite of dividing by 0.5? Multiplying by 0.5, multiply 5/10 in the numerator, cancels with a 5/10 in the denominator. And again, this was the same idea of what we just did. I see 9 times 5. For 3/4 credit of this problem, if I just said 9 times 5 is, what is 9 times 5? So if I just left that as my answer, I get 3/4 credit and I only get a quarter off. How can I get full credit here? 9 times 0.5 is 4.5. If I'm multiplying with one decimal place, I need one decimal place in my answer. Okay. 5K equals 85.05. K is being multiplied by 5, so I divide by 5. And then I try to give you enough room to always do your work right here. So it's 84.05 divided by 5. Do I have to move my decimal? No, because I have a whole number, 5. So I don't need to worry about moving it. I'm going to bring my decimal right up in my answer then. Bring it straight up. How many times does 5 go into 8? Once. 1 times 5 is 5. And then I subtract. 8 minus 5 is 3. Now I bring down the next number. I bring down the 4. How many times does 5 go into 34? 6. So I put a 6 up here. And then I do 6 times 5 is 30. Subtract again. Remember, every time that you subtract, that number that you get better be smaller than the number on the outside. Otherwise, you didn't go enough. And it is, it's smaller. So now I bring down the 0. 5 goes into 40 8 times. 8 times 5 is 40. Subtract. And I still have one more number to bring down. I bring down my 5. 5 goes into 5 once. No remainder. So we get K equals 16 and 81/100. Again, this is not difficult. It's just tedious. 4/5 M equals 2/9. How can I solve for M? By using the reciprocal. What's the reciprocal of 4/5? 5/4. Multiply this side by 5/4. Look for any cross canceling that can be done. I know my 5s and 4s cancel. What cross cancels? Anything? 2 and 4. Very good. What's the common factor I'm dividing out? 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. That's it. Multiply straight across. 1 times 5. 9 times 2.